Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Silverado ZR2 HD. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Chevy here in Provo for giving me some time with this truck. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 6.6 liter turbo diesel V8 that goes through a 10-speed. It's the Duramax. It puts out 470 horsepower and then 975 pound-feet of torque. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So I've got the cool hood vent there in the center, of course. Got our Duramax badge, Allison transmission badge there on the hood. And then we've got the new style of headlights, which have been out for, what, a couple years now at this point. Really cool looking. And then you can see the grill's all blacked out. Got the ZR2 logo, got the Chevy bow tie with the red recovery points. And then although this bumper is just nice and painted, still a pretty hardcore bumper, not plasticky like what you see with some other trucks nowadays. Tire wheel setup is 305 by 70 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels completely blacked out, and yeah, solid setup for the tires. And then you can see independent front suspension, multimatic shocks with this. Got the ZR2 logo there on the side, 2500 HD. Power side steps, you also have the bedside step. And then they did soften up the springs and everything in this, just the overall suspension. And then again, another multimatic shock in the back. We'll talk about the softer suspension with the ride, but there's your side profile. This leads us to the key fob where we've got our lock and unlock function, remote start. You got the tailgate drop down, Chevy bow tie there on the back. And speaking of the back, you guys can see nice LED lights. You've got the fifth wheel prep set up here. We've got an outlet in the bed as well. And this is the cool little tailgate pull out. It says the Multi-Pro. Now, the Multi-Pro does mean that it's manual for the raise function. Cool taillights, ZR2 there again. You can see the nice painted bumper. And it's the rest of the rear. Now popping inside, the interior is really cool with all of the gray and the neon stitching. And then you can see here with the seats, got the storage there as well. And then more storage underneath the seat. Flat loading floor, tons of legroom, heated seats, USB ports for the back, tons of headroom in the back too. So just lots of space in general. This leads us up front where, again, we've got more of the nice trim with the neon stitching throughout. Front two windows are automatic. The mirrors extend out. They also power fold in. You got memory seats, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. $29.39 for the payload. $18,500 for the conventional towing, so still practical. Again, you've got these ZR2 style seats, power adjustments on the side. This does have four-wheel drive auto, as well as low and high. Heads-up display controls, light controls. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, soft touch all around, radio controls in the back, practical controls in the front, including for the center. We have our cruise control, heated steering wheel button as well. Turn signal, windshield wiper stock, and then we do have a column shifter, plus and minus, so you can shift the gears yourself with that 10-speed. Taking a look at the gauge cluster here, fully digital. Notice you can scroll through and see different bits of info on different systems within the truck, and then also you got like your tow haul mode, and then just your general drive mode selected. It does have an off-road mode. It doesn't have a terrain mode like the 1500 ZR2. But it does still have a 360 camera, which is very useful for such a big pickup truck. And then as for the infotainment system, shortcut bar, you've got this main tab right here, and then you've got the little auxiliary tab off to the side. All really user-friendly, very responsive. A couple more controls for the infotainment system. Your diesel exhaust brake, lane departure, parking sensors, your tailgate drop-down, hazard lights, stability control, to roll down all the windows at once. Just a rear locking differential, so the 1500 has front and rear, so that's another big difference. Hill descent, trailer brake controls, and then notice we've got dual zone climate with heated and ventilated seats. Plenty of storage in this area. Nice trim in the center console. Wireless phone charging pad, outlet, USBs, all of that. And then nice trim all across on the dash. Heads-up display, with it as well. Camera rear view mirror, power sliding rear window, and then we've got a center foot top. So this brings us to the window sticker. Total MSRP on this is $89,070 after all options. Doesn't come cheap, does it? Let's see how it performs. Well, let us set off in the ZR2. Regular ZR2. I've already reviewed the Bison for the 25 model year, but if you guys already forgot, there's one. I think it's really cool looking with the extra bumpers and everything, but if you don't use the stuff, it's useless, right? Oh, and I forgot to mention cab lights on both the trucks. So, yeah, we'll drive it, talk about it. One thing to remember, Trail Boss, we are driving by a couple of these. So just kind of remember the Trail Boss, because that one's a ZR2, by the way. But just kind of, guess we'll go out the other way. Just kind of remember that Trail Boss. Typical Honda, broken down. Probably a, what is it? They have oil dilution issues, if I remember right. But that's the CRVs. With the, oh, now it's gone. No, it's still there. It looks like a passport. Good torque. Of course, 975 pound-feet. Should feel good, right? So, seats are pretty comfortable too. In this. And this truck definitely feels like absolutely enormous. It's a big vehicle and it feels big. Power's great, smooth too. Gotta love diesel power. It's wonderful. It does have the kind of like spongy HD truck brakes where you kind of gotta work with the pedal a bit. It's great for towing, but when you're unloaded, it always feels kind of awkward. There's the GMC with the fancier lights. And that one's a Denali Ultimate too. So that's got fancier everything. These aren't too bad to drive, honestly. It's just parking can be a little bit of a chore. Excuse me. Parking can be a little bit of a chore. And if you live in like a big city, yeah, then this would be a pain to drive in traffic and everything. And then parallel parking, oof. Wouldn't want to deal with that, right? But when you're in the wide open, it's not bad at all. It is not bad at all. And the diesel has so much torque, you just kind of lightly get into it. Don't have to do much to convince this truck to move. So the ZR2, I think it's a really cool truck. Well, let's first talk about AEV versus regular ZR2. The only reason why you go for AEV is if you're willing to shell out the extra money for the looks, which some people are, or if you're actually going to take it off-road, because that's the benefit of that truck, right? You've got the bumpers, you've got the extra skid plates, it's got more off-road kit. So it makes sense from that perspective. Now, ZR2 versus Trail Boss. This is where things get kind of muddy. Because the Trail Boss looks, to the untrained eye, the Trail Boss looks identical. Like, it really does. So, should you get ZR2 or Trail Boss? And the answer is probably Trail Boss if you just want the looks. But something to note, the Multimatic shocks and the softer springs of the ZR2 definitely make this truck ride softer. It's more comfortable than the Trail Boss. So if you're looking for a softer ride out of an HD truck, this is going to provide that, whereas the Trail Boss, it's not bad at all, but it's not going to be on the same level. So that's where you jump up to ZR2. But frankly, if you're just looking for truck practicality, Trail Boss ZR2, Nope, nope. You should just get like a LT with the Z71 package, right? I do like the selectable locker on the ZR2. That is one thing that I think is a benefit that I should touch base on a little bit more. But yeah, these trucks are kind of more for show in a lot of for a lot of people. And I gotta remember where this thing was parked. I think it was parked in these Colorados, which was kind of weird. No, it was parked over here probably. So either way, let me know what you guys think about the ZR2. Let me know which route you'd go. And I really wish Chevy would let AEV do more stuff. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but I feel like AEV is being neutered when it comes to Chevy product. The reason I say that is Ram has the Prospector XL with AEV. That is an HD truck with 40s. And it's like, with General Motors, it's like the best we can do for the half ton is 33s, and the best we can do for the HD is kind of 35s. These are more like, I'd say 34s than 35s. And so it's like, I don't know. I feel like AEV has I know AEV has the know-how to do it, so I feel like it's General Motors that's not willing to do it, which I think is silly, because these would, if you had 40s on these, on the HDs, and you had 34s, 35s on the half tons, man, they'd be flying off the shelf. But let me know your thoughts.